Howdy. Welcome to my shop. My name's Ron and I'll be your host for the next 10 minutes or so. Being a fourth generation carpenter, wood is that's my language. It's my living, it's my hobby, it's my passion. One of those passions is making stocks. I've never had any formal training in this. I just wanted to put a piece of wood on a gun one day, and I seemed like that'd be a pretty unique challenge, so I tried it. And been going at it ever since, but honestly, I owe a lot of my success to my customers, my friends that have suggested this or that, different ways of doing it to produce a better outcome. And so I appreciate them. I owe them a great deal. The finish that I use was suggested by a friend of mine that owns a gun shop in Georgia, a guy named Dan. Been friends with him for many years, and I owe him for that knowledge. So I don't suggest that my way is the only way. That's just not the case. I picked up my abilities to do this from watching other people and seeing other things and then figuring out how to do that. So it's a process. Some ways are better, cleaner, faster. They require less effort. On and on it goes. And I'm open to learning new and better ways. I'm always looking for that. My grandfather used to say, never let a day go by that you don't learn something. So when I do, I'll often look up, thanks Pop, because no matter how old you get, you still need to be learning new things. So come on in. It doesn't do any good to try to blow the chips away when you have on a mask. It just doesn't work. Another one of my trademarks is a little ridge right down the middle. It improves your grip. Gives your fingers something to curl around. I think it's kind of pleasurable to look at too. This is a lot finer rasp. You can see the teeth are they're just about worn out. I've had this thing for 30 years. I've sharpened it half a dozen times or more, but it really cuts fine. It's got a fine, smooth cut to it. Obviously doesn't take off near as much wood, but you don't want it to. You want it to start smoothing up what the other one did so quickly. You want to start using this one to smooth up all those edges. You get the idea. Show you a close-up of this. See the difference in those files as far as the size of the teeth. You can also see the difference in the work they do. See that, how rough that is? Right, I did that with a rough side. I did this one with the finer file. You can see the difference in the texture. And then I will eventually go down to another file, which is a cabinet maker's, pattern maker's file. This is a Nicholson. It again is very, very old, but it's a very, very fine teeth, fine cut file. And then you go down to wood files. That's a wood file. This is actually a metal file. It's a Nicholson standard. You can buy this at Ace Hardware, but I use them for wood because they work well. And then you go to sandpaper. Alright, one of the things I start doing about right now is I pull this drawer out and set that piece of paper right there. And as I'm sanding, this is a 100 grit sand block. That brown walnut fine dust drops down and collects on that paper. And I save that to mix with epoxy for bedding. It turns my bedding material into the same color as the wood I'm using. But I only want the fine dust. I don't want the rasp and file and stuff. I just want the dust. And it collects more than you think. After a few minutes, you'll notice there's quite a bit on that paper. The straight block has a straightening effect, whether you're doing body work, sanding cars, or wood. It has a straightening effect that nothing else can match. Nothing. It's a simple machine, but it works. I sand wood down to 220 grit paper. And in the finishing process, I'll go down to 600. And if I'm trying to get it really, really slick, I'll go down. I've got some stuff that'll take it down farther than that. But you can see the coarseness of the sand marks, the disc marks, the rasp marks, and then you get up here where I've been sanding and I've got it down to 220. You can see the grains start to show through. See how the grain is hidden below this line where the sand marks are, and how the grain is exposed and it shows right there. It's going to be a really pretty stock. And then my my sanding dust. I saved this. Put this all in a little line there. And I've got a bag, a little Ziploc bag full of dust. Looks like cocoa. And I'll pour that in there, but not with one hand. So I have to put this camera down. Alright, I'm done with the bottom. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the top. This was set at 1.5 inches, and that's my wrist, my initial cut. I'm going to bring it down to 1 3/8 before it's over with. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and set that now to 1 3/8. Which is that. Now I'm going to start with the same process I did on the bottom. I'm going to use a file, a rasp, and a sand block to get this down straight and get it down to the level of this, the back edge of this butt pad. And then I'm going to bring it down to a nice taper, nice sharp taper there on the comb. And I'm going to take this wrist down a little bit more as well. Another way of removing that wood is with a plane or a spoke shave. This wood is too burl. It's too much burl to do that. It would dig it out, and I would wish I hadn't done that. Straight grain wood, you can use a spoke shave or a draw knife. Remove a lot of wood quickly. Not on burl. Alright, I've set my calipers at 1 3/8. Not quite there, but you can tell it's just barely touching. It may be a 32nd big, and I'm still not done sanding, so that's okay. You can see I've still got a bit of a pencil line. My center line is still there. I've left it on purpose. I keep going up closer and closer to it, but it's still in the middle. It's still guiding me. And I've got this, you can tell there's a little tiny bit of a shadow between the wood, which is not down completely yet, and the plastic pad. So by the time I get done sanding it, this and this will be smooth, because I'll sand them together. Alright, that's my file, rasp, all that. Now I'm going to start with my sand blocks. Well, thanks for choosing to spend your time here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this program. I'll try to post a new segment each weekend. In addition, if you'd like to read about a stock that I made, and then it took a 20-foot free fall, click on the link at the bottom of this page. It's called The Broken Gun. It's a story I wrote a few years ago about my two boys. Sometimes life's hard and things get broken. Now and then we get a chance to fix them. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I had to repair this broken stock. It led to a restoration that I never could have imagined. As always, if you like this video, please click the like button and share this with your friends. Have a great day.